the best console settings to use for Warzone Season 5 on Verdansk. As the #1 console player in all of Warzone, you shouldn't trust anybody else's settings but these. These settings are going to be your key to slamming PC players and their $5,000 setups with your $400 console. If these settings helped you out, please like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to share with a friend who could use a little help shooting straighter. Let's get right on into it. So very first off, right away, for some unbeknownst reason to anybody in the game, a couple months ago, they decided to change the sensitivity scale from a nice and easy 1 through 20 solid number scale to the confusing 1 through 4 with decimal place scale. And you would think, okay, if you just divide your old sensitivity by 5, you'd get to your new sense, and it works out just a little bit of simple math. And no, that's for some reason not how they wanted to do it. They wanted to add everything all complicated up and confusing on a different scale. So I'm going to drop this chart right here. Feel free to pause the video and compare the numbers. What I'm going to break down for you, I'm going to say that you want to be, if you want to shoot as straight as possible and be the best that you can possibly be at the game, you want to have your sensitivity somewhere between a 2.0, 2.1-ish and a 1.5. Somewhere in that little golden zone is where you're going to shoot the absolute straightest and not be too slow to where you can't turn around and you feel like you're a slug on the map. Somewhere in that golden area. You can, of course, you want to go crazy and be a YY movement demon doing 360s all over the place, you can max out your sensitivity. But if you want to shoot straight and be as good as you can be and increase your KD and win more games and win more gunfights and clutch more games in front of your friends, somewhere in that 2.1 to 1.5 area is where you want to fall. Reidboyy plays on a 1.8 horizontal and a 1.4 vertical. So the idea here is this goes back to the older CODs when we went from jetpacks and flying all over, up, down, left, right. You got to move your sense all over the place. To I never had to look up to more than a second, maybe a third story window. I like to have my vertical sensitivity a little bit lower, so that way I can fine tune the vertical aim. Helps a lot with snipers and getting headshots. Helps a lot when people are on head glitches and you have to be really precise with where you want to shoot to be able to get them off those. Now with Warzone, there's a little bit more verticality. I don't necessarily recommend this as heavily, but it's so ingrained in my muscle memory that I can't do it. If you do want to do it, it's definitely not a bad idea though, with just a lower vertical sensitivity than your horizontal sensitivity. With your button layout, the key most important thing that you want in Call of Duty and any FPS for that matter is you never ever want to have to take your thumb off the thumbstick. You never want to lose your ability to aim, especially while hitting any form of movement, whether that be a jump, whether that be a slide, a dive, a drop shot, whatever you're going to do. You want to always be able to aim at all times. And so with my old default controller, before I could convince my parents 10-15 years ago to let me spend $300 on a controller with paddles or buttons on the back, when a normal controller is only $60, I couldn't do that. Couldn't possibly convince them that was okay. I learned how to play bumper jumper tactical. Another alternative to this is stick and move. So I jump with L1. I jump with the L1 button. It's really weird. Most people can't grasp it. I throw my tactical grenades, my stuns, my smokes with X, and then I melee with circle, and I crouch / slide / prone dive with R3. I push the right thumbstick down. Now, I do have, nowadays, we are sponsored by Scuff. You can use code READ if you want to get a discount on your own beautiful Scuff controller. It has paddles on the back. That way, I still don't have to take my thumb off the thumbstick. But it is ingrained in my memory to press L1 to jump. Any other game I play nowadays, I have to press L1. So that is what I play on. So I'm just gonna, so normally I go through and I read every single setting and I explain everything. We're just gonna skip through the important stuff. We're gonna keep this nice and short and sweet for you guys, because I just ranted right there for 2 minutes. Controller vibration, 99.9% of people are gonna tell you want to turn this one off. Most people say off, you don't want this on. Reidboyy, cannot shoot straight without my controller twerking like a twerk team, so I need to play with vibration on. I've actually had to get rid of old controllers just because their vibration stopped working and nothing else is wrong with it. So I need vibration on. Most people are going to tell you to turn that off. Same thing with the trigger effects. Deadzone inputs. This is a very key important setting right here. This one is very important that you want to have the right numbers. So your left stick minimum, you want to go as low as you possibly can where you aren't moving on your own if you're not touching it. 3 is, that's it for me. That works perfectly. Again, on my beautiful Scuff controller, my dead zones can go super duper low. And then your left stick max, that's going to be the maximum amount that you have to push to hit max speed. I just got that down to 90, just a little bit, so we can hit that max speed just a little hair faster. Helps a lot with the movement and being able to be a movement demon, slide cancel around the map. Right stick minimum, this is how precise your aim is going to be. You want this as low as you can get it, where your dude is not moving on your own. You don't want to have any stick drift. 3 is that number for me on my beautiful scuff controller with code Reid. And then you want the maximum range of motion. So that's set up to 99 as well. And then I, on the scuff, have the fancy triggers where the farthest I have to click is basically a mouse click. So the button dead zone doesn't matter. If you have a regular control with regular triggers, turn that down to 0. Down to our aiming settings here. None of this is really that important. Your third person sensitivity multiplier, that is going to be beneficial when you're in your parachute. If you're in your parachute dropping into the game and you want to look around you real quick to see if other people are at, you want that to be as fast as possible. You don't have to be precise in third person. So max that sensitivity multiplier up. The aiming advanced settings here, none of these are really important. None of the inversions are on. The ADS sensitivity transition timing, so that's going to affect how when you press ADS, are you going to go into your aim down sights zoomed in sensitivity instantly? Is it going to gradually do it, or is it going to do it only once you're fully aimed in? I feel instant feels the best for me. Some other games, it feels better on gradual. That's kind of a little bit of a personal preference. I would just leave it on instant if I was you. That's what I feel like is the best setting there. And then the aim response curve types. Your aim response curve types. This is a personal preference. A lot of people are going to try and convince you one of these settings is better than the other. Very few people play on standard. Very few people who are good at the game play on standard. So that one is not one I would do. But linear and dynamic is a lot more of a personal preference. Linear means that you are going to just move in a straight line. As you move your thumbstick, it is going to respond exactly how you want it to. Dynamic is going to be a little bit easier to make those fine-tuned, precise aims, precise movements. A lot of the really good players do dynamic. I would recommend you try both these out. Go play a casual game. Go shoot some bots in the firing range. Whatever you do, try both these out. Whichever one feels better, whichever one feels more natural to you, that's when I would go with. And then don't change it. Pick one, stick with it. The more you learn it, the better your aim is going to get. And then the custom sensitivity presume. This is very important. This is a very beneficial setting that you can have right here. This is how you make it so that way you can have a higher sensitivity while running around the game. But then when you aim down sights and you want to be precise and you want to have good aim, this allows you to be significantly more precise and shoot straighter. This is a very important setting right here. Your low zoom and your 2 to 3 times zoom, that's going to be your majority of like ARs, SMGs, the most guns you're going to use in the game. That's 0.8 for me. We got that one set a little bit lower. Again, being significantly more precise with our aim, it helps you way farther away. My maximum engagement distance is farther than most normal people's because of settings like these. And then these are more of your sniper scopes, your sniper zooms. I want to be able to keep up with a moving target while playing at the lower sensitivity, the more accurate sensitivity. So we've got that set up to 0.9. Aim assist, you gotta crank it on. You gotta do it. It's really fun to make the mouse and crybabies whine and complain about aim assist. It's basically aimbot, especially if you're moving your left thumbstick while you're moving your right thumbstick. The game basically does all the aiming for you. So absolutely crank that one on all the way. Motion sensor behavior, we got that turned off. Now movement, this is how you're going to be the movement god, the movement demon right here. This setting, massively important. Tactical sprint assist. This is going to make it so if you just push up on your thumbstick, you don't even have to click in. You are going to hit maximum movement speed as fast as possible. It's going to make you literally move around the map faster. Very important. And then with the Omni movement, you want the sprint assist to be sideways and backwards as well. That way that you can strafe faster, you can back up faster if you need to, you can slide cancel sideways, backwards, do all sorts of crazy movement. This setting is going to make it harder to lay down when you want to lay down, especially if you're moving. You're going to slide a lot, but it is a necessary sacrifice. It is way more beneficial to have these on and to die while trying to lay down every once in a while and still be able to hit this maximum Omni movement god settings. Mantle assist, turn that off. You never want to be mantling in the middle of a gunfight. That gets you killed so much. It is not worth it to have that one on. Same thing with the crouch assist. We've got that turned off. Corner slice. This is your dude kind of like leaning around corners automatically. Doesn't affect your aiming. Doesn't really affect anything. Some people don't like it, so they turn it off. Doesn't bother Reidboyy at all. I kind of like the way it looks, so I've got that turned on. Slide dive behavior. This one is going to be a little tricky for some people. If you can learn to play hybrid, that is the most beneficial. That is going to help you hit your peak skill level, is if you can play on the hybrid settings. So that way you can both slide very quickly. It's very responsive on the sliding, and you can dive if there's ever a situation where you want to dive. There are plenty of times in this game, way more than in the past CODs, where diving is beneficial. You can dive from one roof to another that you can't get to by doing a normal jump. You dive farther. There's plenty of situations where it's important to have diving as an option. If you don't want to learn it, and if you just don't dive ever, you never ever want to dive, you've only ever dived on accident, just switch it to slide only. Those are going to be your best settings. Any of these other ones are less responsive. Tap to slide is less responsive. It's going to feel uglier. Slide canceling. You definitely don't want dive only because sliding is far more important in this game. So either slide only or hybrid would be the two settings I would play on. Again, hybrid if you can learn to do it and get used to it. These are also very, very key important settings right here. Your sprint restore and your slide maintain sprint. That's going to help you feel like you're on ice skates, zooming around the map, moving significantly faster. It's going to help your slide canceling feel far more fluid and smooth and just zoom around on your knees the entire game. You want your automatic parachute off. This is going to be the secret to getting down onto the ground and grabbing a gun faster than that guy next to you. He's going to still have his parachute out because it automatically deployed 20 feet above yours as you pulled yours last second. You're going to be able to grab that gun, turn around, shoot him while he's still trying to cut his parachute. That is a very important setting. You are going to break your ankles sometimes. It's going to happen. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best players in the world. It's okay. It's way more worth it to get on the ground faster, grab guns, turn around, shoot people far faster than people with automatic parachute on. I've got the mantle cancel reload off. I don't want to be canceling my reload unless I'm trying to cancel my reload by pressing YY or a melee or something. Movement advanced settings. If you don't play with the auto sprint, if you don't like auto tactical sprint, you want your sprint and tactical sprint settings to be on toggle and then single tap run. That is the cheat code. You don't want to have to tap ones. There's never a situation when you want to sprint, but you don't want to sprint as fast as you can. You never want to just run. Or you never want to just sprint. You want to always do the tactile sprint. So the single tap run is a secret to just having to press it one single time. Auto move forward off, auto door peek, none of these are super duper important there. Vehicle advance, I'm just going to scroll through all these. None of these are too super important. Your combat settings, what's important here? Mounting is very beneficial in this game. It literally gets rid of recoil on your guns. And also, the rumors right now are come Black Ops 7, you're going to be able to strafe and mount at the same time. So you're going to be able to move while also not having any recoil on your gun. So getting used to being able to shoot while mounted and getting used to mounting is going to be beneficial for you in the near future. And with that, you never want to mount on accident. You only want to mount when it's on purpose. So you don't want it to be off because you want to be able to mount. Double tapping ADS is something you can absolutely do on accident and mount up and it'll mess you up. If you just automatically mount every time you ADS and there's something you can mount on, that is going to scam you so much. That is going to get you killed. You do not want that. You are never going to accidentally ADS and melee. This is something you're going to have to consciously do only when you want to mount. That is absolutely the setting you want on right there. Dedicated melee weapon. I don't think it's really worth it to swap weapons multiple times to pull out a knife to add an extra weapon to swap to. I think that's going to confuse people. So holding your melee button is how you run with your knife. Unlimited tactical sprint, you run faster. Definitely beneficial there. Armor plate behavior. You don't want to just unzip your chest, reload your shirt real quick, zip it back up, unzip it, put in another plate. It's way faster if you apply all. Unzip it, 1, 2, 3, rezip it, boom, your shirt's all reloaded. There you go. Apply all is absolutely the best setting to have on that one. Some people think it's a cheat code to put manual fire behavior on hold. It's how you turn your semi-auto gun into a fully auto gun. But especially with the spawn pistol, this is why some people feel like their spawn pistol when they drop in shoots so much slower than other people's, because they've got this setting set to hold. So that way you hold it and it fires, it just shoots really slow. You set this to press, you're going to be able to shoot your semi-auto, your burst gun significantly faster. It is far more worth it, trust me. Combat advanced settings, we got anything good going on in here. Weapon mount exit. This is a cheat code nobody's talking about. This is a cheat code nobody knows about. So with the aim assist that you've got cranked on, if you're playing on controller, which you should be on mouse on console, weapon mount exit off. What this is going to do is when you're mounted up, you are able to move your left thumbstick. You're able to activate that rotational aim assist that's basically aimbot. You're able to activate that and you don't stop mounting. So you get less recoil on your gun because you're mounted and extra aim assist because you're moving your left thumbstick while staying mounted. That is a cheat code to beaming people while mounted. Off. And then if you ever want to exit your mount, you just stop aiming. Stop aiming is just as fast as it would be if you stopped, if you started moving, if you had this set to instant, but you want to be able to activate your left thumbstick and then just on ADS whenever you want to exit it. That is the cheat code, trust. Prioritize interact is going to literally let you grab things off the ground faster while you're looting in game. That is absolutely a beneficial setting right there to have. This menu is really annoying. Sprint cancels reload. I like to sprint while reloading. I like being able to run away faster. You're generally not engaging people while you're reloading. Sprint cancels reload is something I've got set to off. If I ever want to cancel a reload, I just swap weapons twice. Kimbo behavior, I fire, if I'm ever using a Kimbo, I shoot both guns at the same time. I can't think of ever a situation where I only want to shoot one of them independently. So this allows you to shoot, yeah, especially if you're one trigger finger's faster than the other. Paired is definitely a W setting right there. And then depleted ammo, weapon switch. Whenever you run out of ammo, you automatically switch guns. So you don't have to click in your head, oh, I'm out of ammo, let me manually do it. It'll automatically do it for you faster, and you'll get to shooting significantly faster. That's better. Nothing else here is too important. All right, that's the general controller settings. That's the bulk of the main goods. Now onto our graphics settings. There's not too much in here. Eco mode preset, I don't really think those matter too much. I think that also depends on your system. I've just got a regular PS5, not even a PS5 Pro. I don't notice any difference with any of these settings. Gamma brightness, that's more specific to your personal monitor. You want all of these blurs, the blurry stuff, turn those off. Absolutely want those turned off. It's going to make your game look clear, make it easier for you to see people. Fidelity, I have turned that on 100. I've turned it on to 20. I've turned it off. I've turned it to 70. I don't really notice any difference with any of those, so we just set it to the hashtag nice number of 79. On-demand texture streaming, another thing that I don't really notice any difference with these on or off. I think this depends more on your internet. Reidboyy's not the graphics nerd that cares about stuff like this. View, so the FOV slider nowadays with this game, with everybody being able to have it, you want to have your FOV somewhere in the triple digits. It's really not beneficial to just crank it up all the way to the max. Seeing people is going to be harder, and it is going to be more detrimental than beneficial having it all the way up to 120, especially if you've got these settings where you're going to be able to shoot farther than most people are able to shoot, because you can shoot straighter because you copied the Reidboyy console settings. So anywhere from like 105 to like 115-ish is the sweet spot. Obviously, Reidboyy likes right in the middle, 110. Generally, the best players in the world, people that are really, really good at shooting straight, not just shooting bots in Warzone, they play on a not max sensitivity. There's a reason for that. The 105, 110, 115 area is better for winning your one-on-one gunfights, which is, if you're watching this video, something you definitely want to be able to do as much as possible. ADS field of view affected. Weapon field of view wide is going to make your gun smaller on your screen so you can see more. Third person field of view, again, when you're parachuting in, you want to see as much around you as possible. 90. Vehicle field of view, same thing, going to make you see more around you. Vehicle field of view wide. Your camera movements, make sure these are on lease. You don't want your camera shaking. Don't want your camera shaking, makes it harder to see things. This right here is one of the low-key goated settings, inverted flashbang. When you get flashed, instead of your screen going pitch white and blinding you and causing permanent retina damage, it's going to make your screen go black. Gonna make you think your game crashed. It's going to happen. It's all right, though. If you get used to that, if you just, the first couple times, it's like, whoa, what just happened? And then your screen comes back and you're fine. Way better for your literal physical health and eyesight to have your screen go all black than all white. Trust me, that setting's a game changer. That's it for the graphic settings. Now onto the cheese, the audio. The audio goodness right here. Master game volume, we got that set to 100. Normally, my gameplay volume is set to 0, just for the sake of this video, so there's a little bit of background noise and it's not completely quiet in the background. We got it set up to 30. Normally turn that all the way off. You don't want the gameplay audio overpowering the sound of footsteps. Your dialogue volume is the guy that talks in your head all the time. He's constantly yapping. There is beneficial information that he says. Enemy UAV inbound, enemy dropping in, stuff like that. Enemy streak inbound, things like that are beneficial, so you do want that on, but you don't want him constantly yapping in your ear, overpowering the sounds of footsteps. So we've got that turned down a little bit. Effects all the way up. Cinematic music volume doesn't really make any difference. I like when we're dropping in and there's music playing rather than just a loud jet. You can absolutely turn that off if you don't want it on. It also plays in the gulag sometimes. A lot of people just say turn that one off. It does not benefit your gameplay at all to have it on. Enhanced headphone mode. I don't like the way that sounds. Reidboyy uses Astro A40s, Astro A40 TRs with the super duper old gray mix amp. I think my headphones are insanely good. You can't even buy these anymore. I don't like the way that enhanced headphone mode works. Depends on your headset a little bit. I just play with it off. We've got some other cheese, some other settings. The audio mix, Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is the secret to hearing footsteps significantly better. That is absolutely a W. None of these are really too important. Hitmarker preset classic. I like the way the hitmarkers sound in the OG COD, so we've got that. Now, with the audio settings, we're going to go into, this is for PS5 specifically. If you're on Xbox, feel free to skip through this part, but we're going to go into the PS5 menu, settings, sound, volume, audio focus. This is a cheat code. This is insane. how good this setting is. I hate how good it is. I think the footsteps are too good because it makes it too easy to just sit there and listen and know exactly where people are. I don't like it. I think this should go. But while it's there and people are using it, you absolutely should. I've got to do some goofiness to make it work with my capture card and mix amp settings. But normally you turn this on. You want to have that turned on. Boost quiet sounds. Boost quiet sounds. Adjust left, right separately. Nope, you don't want to do that. And then strong. That is the secret. You are going to hear footsteps so loud. It is disgusting. It's honestly disgusting. And that's a PS5, I think, specific setting right there. So I'm sorry, you Xbox guys. Go ahead and sell that Xbox. Get a PS5 instead. Now, our voice chat. None of this is really too important. I think proximity chat and the death comms are one of the greatest things to come into Call of Duty. I love the prox chats. We've got that turned on. These settings specifically love just turning themselves off all the time. They just randomly turn off. Somehow it won't be prox chat, man. Nothing like that. It'll just load up the game and it'll be off. So just check those every once in a while to make sure they're on if you haven't heard anybody in a long time. Reidboyy's mic. There's just a little bonus clip for you guys. Reidboyy's mic purposely has the worst possible settings you can set this thing to. It is so loud, and I will just let my mic run in game chat and piss off people in prox chat. Listen to what it sounds like. Mic check. Testing. That's some good stuff right there. That's some good stuff. We got it as loud as possible just to be really, really annoying in game chat. Other people can't hear footsteps, which is why if you feel like people in prox chat are a little too loud, go ahead and turn the voice chat volume down a little bit. That way it doesn't overpower your ears if you run into a wild Reidboyy in the game. Interface settings, none of these are too important. It's just a little bit of bonus extra stuff. You've got the server latency and packet loss stuff so you can know in the top left if you're lagging. That's a little beneficial. Subtitles. The subtitle cheese. Reidboyy gets asked all the time, why do you play with subtitles on? That's such a noob thing to do. Don't they bother you? Blah, blah, blah. First off, they don't bother me at all. I can just see right past them. They're never in my way. But very, very rarely, this doesn't make a big difference. This is not going to make you significantly better at the game. But very rarely, an enemy operator will say something in game that you don't hear. You don't hear an enemy say something. You don't know if there's an enemy nearby. And then all of a sudden, red subtitles will pop up on your screen. That's just free high alert. That just free lets you know, hey, there's a bad guy nearby. Watch out for this. Like it puts you on alert for free when otherwise you would have no idea. There have been multiple times when I go and I just throw a grenade into a room randomly, and then an enemy operator goes, enemy grenade. And I didn't hear their dude say anything, but I've got red subtitles on my screen. I'm like, oh, hey, there's a guy in here. I didn't know that. He wasn't moving. He wasn't making a sound. Now I know that he's there. Subtitle cheese. Better to have them on than have them off as long as they don't bother you. Color customization. This is how you can change a lot of different colors however you want to do things. If you want to customize stuff however you want to customize it. I don't really go too advanced with this. The color filter, I just like the way the game pops a little bit with the filter to color target. Both the world intensity that's in-game, that's your in-game intensity, set to 80, and the interface, that's the menu sensitivity set to 100. Just like the way the colors look with that. That's a little bit personal preference right there. Gameplay HUD. Minimap, you want it to be a square. You can literally see more of the minimap with the corners added on a square rather than being a circle. So make sure you have that set to square. Radar, I don't really care about that. Compass style, any of this important. Hack sprint stamina bar. This is a newer setting a lot of people don't know about. This, if you look in the bottom left with it near your health bar, I don't like it in the crosshair in the center of the screen. If you look in the bottom left of your health bar, you'll see a little stamina bar that lets you know what your attack sprint's at and when you're like almost out and as it's recharging. So that's beneficial to have on. A little bit of extra information. Buy station closes when damaged. This is a W setting. This is free reaction time right here. This is another newer one. So when you get shot at and you're in the buy station, you can instantly run away. You don't have to realize you're being shot at, close out of the buy station, and then run away, adding 100, 200 milliseconds of reaction time. You're almost guaranteed to be dead. This is going to close it automatically so you can just skedaddle right on out of there. Weapon inspect attachment info. You ever picked up a gun on the ground and you want to know what's on it? You want to know what those attachments are because it shoots straight? You inspect it, you can see those attachments nowadays. A W, absolute W setting. Custom ping duration. So this one's a little bit of a minor thing. So if you don't like when you ping something and then all of a sudden it's gone and you forgot where it was, set this to infinite and you can ping something and it'll just stay there. It'll stay there until you ping something else. because that way you can keep your pings around the map. You know, your teammate died and you want to ping their loot so you know exactly where it is. Ping it. This doesn't go away anymore. It doesn't expire while they're in the gulag. That's an absolute W. Kill feed duration. This is another minor one. None of this stuff is too super important, but little minor benefits that are gonna make you a little bit better at the game. Extended 30 seconds. The extended kill feed lasts 30 seconds. It takes somebody 60 seconds to bleed out in Warzone. So if you can still see their name on the kill feed, they used to have this set to 60 seconds, but they've gotten rid of that. If you can still see their name in the kill feed, they don't have to have bled out yet. Just another little minor thing right there. Crosshair static. A lot of people don't like the way the crosshair looks when it's bouncing all over the place. I definitely think it's beneficial to know what the limits of your hip fire are. And this is where you would go to change the color of your crosshairs. I like the way it looks when it's green. Nice and quirky and different. You want your hit marker visuals and damage-based hit markers on. Anything else here super duper important? Not really. And that right there is all of your W console settings. I know there was a lot. I'm so sorry. 25-minute long video. I apologize, but I just sat there with it. This is all going to make you better at the game. Don't forget to like the video. If any of this stuff helped you, let me know if there's anything in the comments you think I should change. Don't forget to share this with a friend. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.